I feel like when talking about leaders, you of course think about the major important people in your life. You think about your parents, you think about your pastor, you think about teachers that have really inspired you or helped you, and you think about just people that have helped you in your life, or people that you may not even know that you just think have done a lot. Like you may think of Elon Musk and Bill Gates, or just any people that you admire. I once wrote a story about an archer in high school that didn't have any arms, and he overcame it and went on to win gold medals using his feet in archery, and then it became a whole new sport. Um, but just thinking about a leader in my life that really impacted me. I know it sounds kind of cliche or just the usual, but I think I'm gonna have to pick my dad. He always tells me stories about him in the military. He didn't do much. He flew airplanes for the majority of the time while he was in the military. But just I like hearing all the stories he has about his childhood and his time in the service and elsewhere now. And it's just all that he's just done everything that he's always done everything that he could to always provide for me. He's always worked his hardest and whatever he could. He couldn't do much after the military. He was a farmer while both my sisters were growing up, but I never got to experience the majority of the farmhold livelihood, just because when I was born, it was after the time where his farming kind of fell through and kind of, went down the hole. But so he just kind of peddled after that, and we call it peddling. He just buys and sells produce at farmer markets and sometimes on city squares. But he's always done anything he could for me, anything he felt like he could do or that I needed, he always did it. There are times, like when my parents got divorced when I was like in 5th grade, so there were times before 5th grade where he would need to borrow money from me just to pay bills or buy produce, because I always liked saving my money. And I thought it was really noble of him. And anytime he borrowed money from me, he always paid me back extra, which is something that I think a lot of parents would do. I think a lot of parents just take their kids' money to say, oh, I provide for you, so this is my money, not yours. But even after my parents got divorced, my dad always wanted to try to take care of me, do anything he needed for me. And it's just, I see him as a leader in a family sense more of anything else. And I aspire to be that great father that he was for my children. I want to be able to provide for my kids at all costs, in good times and bad. I want to be able to do everything I can for my kids. I don't want to ever be able to say that there's something I could have done and didn't. I mean, just about a year ago when I crashed my car, he talked about maybe buying me one of his own, and I knew that he didn't have that kind of money. I really didn't want him to do it. I was really telling him not to, that I had plenty of money saved up. I wanted to be able to buy mine on my own, but he really wanted to do something for me because he hasn't really been able to, because he's never really had a lot of money. So one way he just shows up with the 2012 Altima, and I loved it, and I really enjoyed it, and I was like, everybody told me to let him do something for me because it had always made him sad that he wasn't able to do very much for me. But in a leader sense, just the passion that he has, not only for his family, but for his friends and his work. Just he does anything that he can. He's just so resourceful. He just does anything and everything that he can to do. I feel like a leader has to be resourceful, has to be passionate about their work, and he's respected by so many people. I've talked to so many people that don't even know his name, but they recognize me from working with them when I was younger. They'll be like, oh, hey, how's Taterman doing? He helps out so many people. And the main thing is that he helps provide for everybody else, because not everybody has a lot of money to go to the grocery store and buy produce or buy what they need. But he sells stuff as cheap as he can from other people that he gets to make enough money for him to get by and pay his bills, but also providing for the people. Just like my grandpa did. It was never about making money for him. It was always about just being able to get by and being able to provide for the people that need it more. So he was just very respected. Actually, that's what we talk about. We talk about respect, talk about passion, talk about resourcefulness and pride. Just the pride that he took in his work. I mean, he would just give stuff to people that if he felt like if he didn't need it and he knew they did, he would just give it away. I mean, he's never been a rich man by other people's standards, but I feel like in my heart, he's the richest man I know. He hasn't always been the happiest person, but he's bounced back recently. It's been really proud for me to be able to see him do that. Just for people to admit that they're wrong and to be able to know that they made mistakes, because he's kind of let his house just kind of go to shambles and really messy and really nasty. He'd probably be on the episode of hoarders or whatever you want to call it. But people in leadership positions need to realize when they're wrong. They need to be able to realize that they're wrong and need to right their wrongs. Yes, it's important that people need to have pride in their work, but you don't need to let pride stand in the way of admitting when you're wrong. So just in a fellowship sense, just the respect that people have for him that don't even know his name. The passion that he's always had in all of his work, and the passion for his family and being able to provide for me in any way, shape, form, or fashion that he felt like he could. Just how loving he is, how loving he always has been. I mean, I know it's kind of cliche to choose one of your parents as your leader, but the more and more I thought about it, I've done research, I've tried to choose the people, but he was just the person that stuck in my heart to talk about and wanted to talk about. I know it's supposed to be like a 1 to 2 minute video, but I'm at like 6 minutes right now. But I hope this kind of covers the necessary requirements of this assignment. So, I mean, I doubt anybody other than the teacher is going to watch this video. But Miss Lowe, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas break. Maybe I'll see you around next semester. And if anybody else just has free time watching this video, I hope you'll have a wonderful time as well. But just got to think, if you're ever in a leadership position, you need to realize that a lot of people may look up to you. And a lot of people are going to see what you do, and you need to make it known. You need to let yourself know that people are going to look up to you in a way that they're going to want to try to be like you. You don't have to be perfect all the time, but you need to realize that you have to right your wrongs whenever or wherever they come about. So, you'll have a good break.